Welcome back to the After Dark podcast where we discuss topics that are none of our business. It's your boy Black Mike on the mic. We got Big Stir up top. You already know. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars and follow on whatever audio platforms you are listening to. We greatly appreciate it. So, we are officially back. We took a 1 week hiatus. We apologize for that, but we knew that there was no way in hell that we could get away with taking another week off when we just came back from the start of the NFL season. But before we get into any of that, you already know that I know Sterling's got some fucking. He's got to have something for us. We ain't spoke to this nigga in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Haven't spoke to this nigga in 2 weeks. I know he could fucking probably chat on for 40 minutes and fill us in on whatever the fuck he's got going on. But
I'll
I'll
keep
let
it brief.
the man tell it himself. Big Stir, how you been, brother?
Dude, I've been good. I know we were talking pre-pod like a little bit, just kind of catching up a bit, and we try to keep, to be honest with y'all, we try to keep it pretty candid. Like, I mean, I think everything we say up here is pretty candid. Obviously, we know this shit goes on the internet, so respectfully, we can't be completely idiots. Um, but we were talking about, like, I was like, oh shoot, it's been 2 weekends since we've had done a pod. And I'm like, oh shit, like what did I do the weekend prior to this last one? But that doesn't really matter. This past weekend tops all my weekends I've had, especially since I moved. One of the best weekends, one of the best Saturday nights I've had, I mean, probably ever, bro. Like, and it's not like I ended up getting laid or nothing like that, bro. It didn't even have that, like, that magical storybook ending type of thing, bro. But it was like, so for those that you don't know, a little while ago, old girl and I, we split ways, so it's been a few minutes. Um, and so I was like, dude, like, me and my roommate and his girlfriend drank on Friday night. Uh, Pretty heavily. We stayed up pretty late. They stayed up pretty late. He was a zombie. Like, he didn't get up till like 8:30 next evening, bro.
Oh
Next
shit.
evening, bro. He didn't even eat. He didn't even come in the living room. Like, he was getting basically grass fed by his girl, and I'm like, all right, like, I want to go out, and it was like raining at first, and I had a place I was going to go to, but I was like, I kind of like pulled an audible, and I was like, oh shit, like, I'm gonna go out by myself, bro. Like, I'm gonna go out completely alone, and shout out my boy Monty Bynum. I know he does that often, bro. Like, for all the dudes out there that do that shit, got big balls. I was proud of myself for doing it, and I'm an extreme extrovert, and it's still fucking hard. It's probably one of the hardest and most uncomfortable things to do as a man, specifically as a man,
Yeah.
um, and a single man at that. Um, and so went out, man. I've made friends with this dude like very quick. I ain't gonna lie. I'll tell a brief story and we'll like, try to get to the point. But got to the first bar I went to, pulled up, got a tequila sour and a Michelob Ultra. Like, pulled up straight to the bar, started chatting with the bartender. I'm low key. I'm a fool for the bartenders, bro. For the people that don't know, I'm a fool for the bartenders. I'm sorry. Started chatting with them. And I was like,
Bartender. Ooh.
yeah, I'm that guy. So I was trying to get myself comfortable. Then I was like, damn, I got kind of low key nervous when she like stepped away. I was like, fuck, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm here alone. I went straight to the bathroom, came back out, saw these two dudes sitting at the table I was gonna sit down at, and just went over there, made friends with this guy. Like, no, like, nothing against being gay, but I'm not gay. Like, no homo. Like, handsome dude. And it was like, yeah, you're gonna be my wingman. And I was like, bro, sure, bro, easy way in for me. Like, girls are gonna flock to you. I mean, I can talk my way into anything, really. Like, I got a little bit of riz myself. I don't mean to use that word out of context, but I definitely think I do. So we just had a night. It was like an all night brigade for ladies, man. Like, just having fun, getting to know new people. Got made a lot of progress, to say the least, without going into too much detail, and it ended up waking up feeling like probably the best I've felt in months, dude. Like, so confident, so like like I was literally vibrant. I woke up the next day, like, got my coffee, like, I knew I called Mike. I told my mom I was going to do it because she was like, "Oh, that's like something I would never do." Blah blah blah. That I don't know how you do that stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't know how I did it either, but I would 10 out of 10 recommend. And especially if you do it and you are feeling a little bit uncomfortable, there's people out there that are, less confident in you. And a lot of people give you props for that, bro. Like a lot of people really like, they admire that. I know I was telling some girls that I like, oh yeah, I came out alone. I was just kind of like, let's see what happens. Not to say I don't have any friends. I know I couldn't hit anybody up, but it's like, dog, like, fuck it. I want to go out, have a few drinks, meet some people. Like, might as well do it the right way. And the reason is the dating apps, bro. They're trash, bro. They're
They're
trash.
trash,
I,
bro.
I don't have nothing wrong with it. It's not like I don't get my fair share of love on there, but it's like, bro, it's not the way. I'm not a texter, bro. I don't like texting. I don't like that mess. It's so 21st century, so Gen Z. It's like I'm an adult, bro. We're all adults. Most of us have full-time jobs where we have to work. We're expected of something. Get out of your comfort zone. If I have any advice, get out of your fucking comfort zone. Don't be a wussy about it for the men out there, even the women too. Get out of your comfort zone.
And a
Make
little
yourself uncomfortable.
a little
Go
tidbit
ahead.
too, if you're on those dating apps, listen, if we are talking for more than a full day, at that point we might as well set up a time to fucking meet. We don't need to have any more chit chat. Like, we vetted each other,
Hmm.
we spoke for. I feel like, whenever you mess with each other, you speak that time. Then if it's like late at night and it goes into early day, I think by like that day there should be like, it should be asked and you should be trying to plan to meet. Like, this ain't no whole. I'm not looking for I am buddy. I'm looking
Yeah,
to meet
I mean, I can
somebody.
find
Like, you think I'm
there's some
attractive? I
creeps
think
out
you're
there.
attractive. Let's link up and see if there's like anything going on there.
Yeah, and honestly, bro, like I've been very blunt with some girls. Like sometimes I'll get on those apps and will just like spam swipe, just to, like get as much out of the way as possible. And it's like, dude, honestly, like it wasn't even me that was swiping. It is a lie, but I like didn't mean to swipe on them type of thing. And I'll be very cut and dry with them. Like there's no point for me to sit here and try to like make you feel good that you got a match. Like everybody feels good because they feel that. I mean, seriously, everybody
Yeah,
feels
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I feel good. You feel good because you're feeling validated. But like I said, best advice for people, I'm telling you, man, this is the time of your life, especially if you're around our age, 25, like anywhere, in my opinion, if you're a young professional, anywhere from like, I would honestly say 23 to 28, even at 20, like to 30, get out of your comfort zone right now, bro. Cause like in a few years, you're gonna probably have a wifey or a hubby and kids. Like these things aren't as easy to do, and you got to take advantage of it and make yourself uncomfortable. Understand what you like and don't like, not even say necessarily from the dating perspective, but people in general, bro. It's such an important thing. Like it will literally extend your life to find the things that are gonna make your life more enjoyable. You don't need a woman for it. For the guys out there, you don't need a girl for it, or whichever way you swing, bro. Like it doesn't matter. Like just be chill. I know I'm on my soapbox right now, but I'm serious, bro. Like I've never felt that way, and I'm a pretty damn confident guy, bro. Like I'm pretty damn confident. Some would say arrogant sometimes. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I never felt more confident in my entire fucking life. Once you get in that zone, not even just chatting with ladies, just chatting with different people, you are that guy. You become that guy. I became that guy this weekend, to think about it. Like, and shout out my boy Eric. That's my boy. We'll definitely be linking. Next time the boys are down in Charlotte, we're definitely gonna link with my boy Eric as well. Like what a like cool vibe, same type of situation as me, bro. Like I couldn't ask for anything better. And meeting a new friend and like just going from there, man. So ups on that. I don't know if you have anything that's happened over your past couple weeks. I know it has been a while. We try to keep it brief though.
Oh, did I? Oh, fucking did I? And thankfully enough, what happened to me is a topic on the motherfucking doc. And if you are listening to this on the audio platform, then you need to pause this, go hop on YouTube, and come watch me and come look at what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a Cowboys jacket because let me tell you, Sunday night ended the great week off recap, and I could not wait to get back here so I could discuss it. But I'm gonna make you wait a little bit longer because we're gonna go in chronological order. Because even though it feels like the Cowboys were the only game that happened the whole week, I don't know if it felt
My
like that for you,
God,
Sterling, but for me, it felt
it
like
did.
everything else was just completely irrelevant. It felt like we had an extra day of college football, and then the big boys came out to play. But I digress.
Yeah.
NFL Week 1 recap. We're going to get into it. We're going to break it down in chronological order. And it started off Thursday night with Derek Derek, Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions taking down the mighty Kansas City Chiefs. It was a close game. Now, granted, Kansas City was out. They were without Chris Jones. They were without Travis Kelce. A bunch of receivers who usually aren't in the roles where they are predominant. They're getting predominant target share like they were that night. But they're Super Bowl champions. They're the reigning Super Bowl champions. So we're not making any excuses for that. And this is Patrick Mahomes. This is fucking the baby goat who's probably going to take, he very well could dethrone Tom Brady one day. Just talent-wise, he's already above Tom Brady. He's in that Aaron Rodgers type discussion. But anyways, let's break it down. Sterling, what were your first reactions of the very first game of the NFL season kickoff? Detroit Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. Me personally, I wasn't able to watch the game in full. I did catch some glimpses of it, and then obviously, social media will do the rest for you. Even if you ain't even trying to watch it, like it'll do the rest. It doesn't matter. Like if you try to think you're gonna hide a game from yourself, get off of social media. You can't even open those apps at this point. I love seeing the Chiefs lose. I love seeing the Chiefs lose more than probably any fan on the planet at this point. I'm not the biggest fan of Patrick Mahomes. I think that team's full of horse shit. Andy Reid's the GOAT, though. Aside from that, Jared Goff. First off, the Chiefs should be fucking ashamed. You're losing to Jared Goff. Look, I'm not shitting on Jared Goff. Jared Goff is he's one of the most mediocre quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL. I'm going to put that out there. He is one of the most mediocre quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL. Look, he is literally the staple for mediocrity. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Staple for like average.
Mediocrity, minimum, medium.
Well,
whatever you
average
want to
is
call
not
it.
minimum, but yeah.
Yes, sorry. I digress. On that point, I think that yes, people are gonna be like, oh, they didn't have Chris Jones because they didn't want to, because he was holding out because they didn't want to pay the motherfucker who literally does everything on defense for them. Not everything, but he's one of the most crucial parts of their defense. And then Travis Kelce situation, and then just a bunch of other stuff in terms of like timings were probably off. It's the first week of the season. We give you a little bit of grace. I can understand that, but you still lost to the fucking Lions. And no matter how the Lions are even good this year or bad, they're expected to be a lot better. I'm excited for them because seeing Detroit win means that other teams are going to have to actually play them more or less than like, oh, we're playing the Giants this weekend. Oh shit. All right, cool. Like that's what it used to be like, but now it's like you just beat supposedly the best team in the land because by technicality they're defending champs. You would expect they are the best team in the land. But I think my thoughts on that game in particular was that Patrick Mahomes seemed extremely uncomfortable. He seemed, like I said, out of rhythm. And like he is great. He is physically talented. I will give him that. I think he's a fucking nerd. I think he's a loser. But I will say that he seemed uncomfortable, and the Lions were relishing in it. They were relishing in it. They have that young guy. I can't remember the white guy on there on defense for them, man. I can't remember his name. Young guy, really stepped up for them, made a lot of great plays, impact plays. And I mean, honestly, the Chiefs are going to take a step back. I mean, I don't know who they play next week. Do you have an idea who they play next week?
I do not. I can figure it out, but I kind of had a different take.
Okay.
Different view of it. So what I saw, and they hold up. Yeah, so what I saw from that game is I actually took away, oh shit, the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl. I took away from that L Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and others will be right back in the Super Bowl again, and someone has to prove that they can dethrone them. Why did I take that away? Mike, they caught an L. Mike, the Detroit Lions look so much better. The offense is young. It's vibrant. The defense is finally getting everything together. Everybody loves the head coach, Dan Campbell. Miss me with that bullshit. If you watched that game and you thought the Detroit Lions looked good, I got something coming for you. Personally, when I watched that game, I didn't think they looked good. I thought that the Lions looked rattled. They put together some decent drives. Jahmyr Gibbs is obviously a highlight factor. He was fast. He was young. I don't know why they steered away from getting him the ball more. It seemed like that they really should have given him more target share. And I'm not saying that just because he is on my fantasy lineup, but they definitely should have given him some more target share.
Maybe a little bit.
But what I saw Jared Goff look rattled to me. I saw opportunities that they didn't take. There were drop interceptions that Jared Goff took or very questionable throws in situations that I didn't feel like that he was really – I didn't really feel like he was getting pressured at all when I think about it. And also there was some secondary question marks on the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't really feel like Jared Goff really exposed that. Other than Amon-Ra St. Brown, I feel like the receiving core for the Lions looked shaky. It looked really shaky. Run game looked solid. I mean, David Montgomery is going to give you the pound and ground. Like I said, Jahmyr Gibbs with the speed and the big playability. It's a very Zeke, Tony Pollard-esque type running game. But when I saw that and I saw how the Chiefs played, and like you said, Sterling, I agree with you. I've never seen Patrick Mahomes look like he was a little rattled, I've never seen that before. I've never seen the Chiefs look like a regular team where obviously we've seen them lose before, but it always felt like, oh man, like they were still the better team. This game didn't show that. But why do I think that they're going back to the Super Bowl? Because literally they barely lost that game. We're raving about Detroit Lions came in and knocked down the reigning NFL championship, right? They didn't have Chris Jones, their best defensive player, one of the best defensive players in the league. They didn't have Travis Kelce, their best receiver. I know he's a tight end, but he's legit a goddamn receiver. He had 1,300 yards receiving last year. I think like 12 touchdowns. He's a receiver, let's be honest. And he will go down as the greatest tight end to ever play the game. Neither one of them were there. They play the worst game I've seen the Chiefs play since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback. And the Detroit Lions barely got a dub. If they can't look like complete scrubs and just get washed in a game and under those circumstances, Chris Jones just signed. He signed today. He's back. So there's no more of that. So you're gonna get pressure in your face. If Jared Goff was playing today, he would have his jersey be a little more dirty. Travis Kelce's he's not gonna be out much longer. Trust me, he's gonna be back. They said it was a bone bruise. That's not holding Travis Kelce out that much. Apparently he's been hanging out with Taylor Swift too, so he's getting sucked by A-list pop star. That little bone bruise is gonna heal up real quick. Real quick. Trust me.
And bone bruise he's gonna have, my boy.
So them boys are gonna be fine. When they come back, the Chiefs are gonna be the Chiefs. When I'm looking at the landscape of the other games that came on, and I'm sure we're going to get into those as well, AFC as a whole did not look impressive. As a whole, when we see the Chiefs go down, that couldn't even be motivation for these other AFC teams to come out and make a statement. None of them made statements. So when Chiefs get their guys back, they're going to do what they do. They're going to whoop all y'all niggas' asses, be in the Super Bowl, and have to go against the best team in the league. But like I said, we'll get into that later.
Oh, dude. Well, on that note, I want to kind of combine a couple games because I don't want to drag this out crazy long, but we're going to chat. So I want to hit on like any personal games being like after this one, I'm going to stop dragging them out as much, but I'll let him get into the Cowboys game just as much as I'll get into the Panthers game here. So we had our number one overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft or 2023 NFL draft, Bryce Young, make his NFL debut on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons, who also have a young QB as well, with a loss of 24-10, understanding that I'm just going to go and put my thoughts out there. He looked like fucking garbage. And I'm tired of people letting him get rocked. Just getting absolutely sucked. He's a small guy, bro. We can't let this man get hit. He's supposed to be your franchise quarterback. And what I took away from that game more or less was that the Panthers are gonna have to literally win the next five division games to win the division. That's what I took away from it. I think because the Falcons are obviously in our division, as well as the Buccaneers and the Saints. We have a head-to-head game with the Saints. We have two division games back to back to start this man's career. Like, it's not like we're just playing like it's not like we're playing the fucking Texans with CJ Stroud, who's also a rookie quarterback. Like, we're playing people that matter, bro. You get 5 wins, or sorry, yeah, you get 6 wins in your division, which is obviously impossible now. But you get the 6 wins in your division a year, or 4 out of 6. You're in a really good position to win your division.
Yep.
It's just what it is. And right now, the Falcons look like a better team. Not only that, Bryce Young looked like he couldn't read the coverages the right way, which really, really, really scares me because I can read coverages okay, and I'd never even played football. So, like, there needs to be some reassessment, and I hope when they come out in his first home game as a Panther, first home game in regular season home game, he shows out, because he might get booed if it goes halfway through the season. We're sucking bad. And we're Carolina. We're not like the Phillies. We're not like Philadelphia. Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, they're known for that. Like, if your team is sucking, they're gonna boo you. Like, because they know sports, they expect it. But we just spent so much time, we put so many people away to get you. You need to prove why you're worth this. Like, the Falcons, what's his name? What's the guy on the team? Robinson?
Bijan Robinson.
Fuck that guy, bro. Fuck him. Dude, he's untackleable. He is impossible. Brother, he's juking across the field, and I'm just like, is anybody going to touch him? Is anybody going to actually wrap him up? We're just trying to hit this man. Yes, I know he's little, but damn, like, hit him. Hit him. He's a strong little boy. What was your thoughts on it? I don't know if you got a chance to watch it. I don't know if you, like, looked into it, that sort of thing.
I did watch it. I did. And I'm not going to go as hard as you did on Bryce Young. I think there's a lot of potential there. I like him as a quarterback. He's small. He looks small on the field next to the others. I think that there's not enough talent around him right now to really assess what kind of quarterback he's going to be. I also give him a little leeway. I always give rookie quarterbacks leeways that go to shitty ass organizations. So I always give him a little bit of leeway. I grade him on a curve. You know, he's got to play. Not only does he have to play the defenders, but he's got to play his organization. So, you know, let that sit. Panthers not really known for big dubs, and we'll see. We'll see how they turn out. Atlanta Falcons, they looked alright. I thought they looked good. I feel like the only reason why they really ran up the score against you guys and the point difference was so big was merely because of Bryce Young's interceptions, and those kind of switched the game. Other than those interceptions, though, I thought he moved the ball decently. I mean, I think that division's up to the Saints. I think the Saints are going to win that division. It's probably between the Saints and maybe the Falcons. I don't really believe in Baker. I guess he had a decent game the other day, but I don't believe in Baker. I think the Panthers will be good because y'all have a solid roster, solid defense. There's solid pieces on that roster. I think Bryce Young will be a decent quarterback. Once y'all get a couple receivers, wish you still had CMC, wish you still had DJ Moore, but obviously you wouldn't have who you have now if you did all those things. Yep. So I get it. But if you just had one of them right now, it would be really helpful for Bryce Young, and he'd probably look a whole lot different. But I thought it was a good game. Y'all's division is going to be one of those grunt divisions where it's going to be a bunch of low record teams trying to fight for that playoff spot to get their fucking ass whooped in the wild card game. But those are still fun ass years. I've been being a Cowboys fan, I've been a part of those type of seasons. Those are fun years because the games go either way, and you never know. And even though you suck as a team, you still got a chance to root for a playoff spot potentially. So that's my take on
Yeah.
that game.
Well, and I think you're right. I mean, I definitely think Bryce Young has some growing to do, physically and mentally on the field as an NFL quarterback. This is not Alabama where you have the best linemen in the country and literally the best wide receivers and the best running back. Granted, Alabama couldn't even beat Texas too, so I mean we can't even talk about Alabama at this
True.
point. Shout out my boy Nick Saban. Fuck you, dude. Um, I want to kind of talk in a cluster about the AFC. What is it? The AFC North, or is that East? I believe it's the East with no, it's AFC North. It's the Ravens, Browns, Bengals, and
Steelers.
Steelers. So obviously the Ravens beat up on the Texans 25-9. Lamar looks solid. I mean, like he looks normal. What's his name? Flowers is gonna be he's a great
He's
addition.
a beast.
Yeah, he's one of those deep threats guys that you need, like a Deshaun Jackson in his prime, like Steve Smith in his prime, those types of guys. And then Odell got his touches, that sort of thing. And then also Deshaun Watson, the Predator, as my sister would call him. Uh, the Predator comes out with a win against one of the supposedly, better teams over the past couple of years. Not supposedly, but one of the better teams of the past couple of years, being the Cincinnati Bengals, 24-3, a shellacking
Whoop that
by them.
ass.
And Deshaun looked solid. Team looked good. Get out of bad organizations, even though the Browns are a pretty poor organization too. You have good things happen to you. And then lastly, wanted to talk about the Steelers in a nutshell, because they didn't play. Yeah, they didn't play.
I don't
So
think they showed up to the field.
yeah, the Steelers, yeah. Well, they put up more points than the Bengals, so that's something to come on. I definitely think that's Lamar Jackson's division to lose. I 100% believe that. I think with the Joe Burrow thing happening, and him looking a little off, and what they've tried to build over this past offseason, there's no reason that Lamar doesn't see himself as a division champ and at least making a push towards the AFC Championship game.
Yep.
And probably having to face a Patrick Mahomes, or if it's not Patrick Mahomes, one of the better teams in the AFC. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that and where that comes from.
Yeah, so
And
I would have to agree with you, to be honest. I do think it's the Ravens' division to lose. I thought that going into the season. I mean, the Ravens almost beat the Bengals in the playoffs last year with Tyler Huntley as a quarterback. If Lamar was playing in that game, they whooped that ass. Literally whooped them to pieces. I think it's the only downside to the Ravens is that boy J.K. Dobbins, bro. He cannot stay healthy to save his life. It sucks for him, but he is out for a season again, and there's a good chance that's his career. I mean, it's been like 2-3 years in a row now, and he just can't stay on the field. A lot of talent, sucks for him, but some people just injury prone, I guess. But I think the Ravens have the best shot to me. Obviously, the Bengals are the Bengals, but for some reason, I feel like that offensive line is going to be a problem for them. I also just feel like, I don't know. Sometimes you get the feeling, I don't think the Bengals window for Super Bowl is closed, but I think maybe in this era of what we think of the Bengals, it might be closed. Like maybe they missed out on the Super Bowl window for what they're built, how they're built today, and they might have like another era 2 years from now where they're like good again, or they're the top dog again. I can see that happening, but I think like for right now, as constructed, I don't see them winning a Super Bowl, and I see the Ravens as a better team. Steelers, although they got beat down, I don't think that what they are what we saw this Sunday. I feel like they're a little bit better than that. I thought that they might have been a lot bit better than that, but I'm gonna walk that back. Kenny Pickett, I'm gonna need to see some more. He went crazy in the preseason, but I guess that's why the preseason is the preseason and it's not the regular season. So
Yeah, I mean
I
that's the truth. I
yeah.
mean,
And I mean the Browns
I,
too. Browns dark horse. Don't sleep on the Browns. That defense is crazy. And if Deshaun Watson looks like the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson, they're as good as anyone in the league.
crooked hairline and all, bro. Crooked hairline and all. I'll tell you that. Tell you that, man. Well, and I kind of like, in a sense, you know, what I've been seeing. Because I mean, I think the season can be one of the best. And if maybe I'm speaking too soon, maybe it's way too early. You know, we got 17 weeks now, or what, 18 weeks. I'm sorry, 18 weeks of regular season football because we play 17 games now. But
Yeah.
uh, maybe I'm speaking too soon. I think this might be one of the best NFL seasons we've seen in the past decade. I have a really good feeling about it. One, I think there's not a just an upstanding, crazy, dominant team. And I know you're gonna be like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? There's not an upstanding, crazy, dominant team?" Uh, but in my personal opinion, I think the playing field is relatively even. I mean, they're all pro athletes. We know this. There's a reason they're in the pros. No matter if they make that 53-man roster, they're some of the best NFL or they're some of the best football players in the world, which granted, he's only played in America, but really. But going on to that note, I want to talk about the Titans, Jaguars, those teams, because obviously with the situation that the Titans are in, where you've obviously got a division where it's definitely winnable. And it's one of those divisions. Once again, it's going to be kind of a grueler, but not really. Um, and I think that also on top of that, in the Jags, Trevor Lawrence, that team, bro, he's brought a winning gene to them, like how to win. How do you win? How do you win at the highest level? And granted, he was winning at the second highest level, playing really well. I mean, these guys are legit. They're a super young team too. Young teams with a lot of like health and then a lot of like just overall determination to win are the scariest teams to play in any sport, let alone the NFL, where it's all who gets injured at the right or wrong times and who's playing well, who's peaking. And I think that right now, those two teams, I think the Jaguars, not necessarily a dark horse, but as we saw last year, is one of those teams where you really got to make sure you're on your shit when you play them. Because if you aren't, they might end up beating. Like, they didn't beat down the Colts; they only beat them by 10. But they really might beat down on you because Trevor Lawrence is becoming that guy slowly but surely.
Oh yeah, Trevor Lawrence is the real deal. We knew this coming out of college. If you were down on him in the Urban Meyer era of the Jaguars, and it really shows how coaching can have an influence on how a player plays. Like coaching is a real thing. It's not a bullshit job. They do real things and they have a real effect on the game. It clearly shows when they booted Urban out the door and brought in Doug Peterson and saw the difference there. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be one of the top dogs eventually, and it very well so could happen this season. He'll probably progress in that direction, and a lot of it will be due to the fact that they picked up a guy who had a slight gambling problem, who goes by the name of Calvin Ridley, who's an absolute beast. Absolute beast. He's a stud. He came in first game. Everybody was raving about how, like, year off, don't worry about it. Calvin Ridley's that dude. I saw training camp videos, him running routes. They were fucking nasty, precise, sharp cuts. This dude came out, 2 touchdowns, first game. Calvin Ridley is him. Trevor Lawrence is him, and the Jaguars are for real. And I definitely think the Jags will win their division, and I expect them to have a strong chance to do some damage in the playoffs. Not go to the Super Bowl. Let's not get crazy, but they'll do some damage. So I definitely agree with on that. And also to touch on your point about this being one of the greatest seasons that we might see, I could see that there's so many different storylines going around, so many new faces in big positions. That's exciting, and we're seeing them play, and they look like they're showing some promise with Anthony Richardson. He showed a lot of promise in his first
Mhm.
game. For him to be one of the better rookie quarterbacks out of all the ones that played is actually kind of impressive and a little shocking, to be honest. Um,
Yeah.
and then we have storylines, and it's as long as everyone can stay healthy. Obviously, we had a knock to the absolute biggest storyline in the NFL, which is Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers and the Jets last night. He ruptured his Achilles. He's out for season. And the first drive that he had is absolute bummer. When I watched that, I was like, dude, like, what the fuck? We have the Jets next week, and could not wait to get my revenge on Aaron Rodgers. But that's not going to happen. Instead, you're just gonna see another Zach Wilson, my boy. My boy, you better hold all the moms out there ready to pamper and nurture your ass, whoever's mom you about to sleep with next. Because my boy, you gonna need them moms next week. Can I get into my shit? Are we done talking about these bum ass teams?
Nah, I wanted to hit on the Jets game, man, because I think that's an important game to hit on.
Let's hit on
One,
it, man.
I know you're excited. I know you're just like, I want to talk about this fucking shellacking. Um, but I think it's important for us to notice as fans of football, not just fans of a team, because in my personal opinion, before I get to my point, in my personal opinion, if you have a favorite team in a sport, right? It could be basketball, football, whatever sport you watch. If you have a favorite team in that sport, that's great. But you're not really going to truly enjoy watching it, like truly, if unless you just love good whatever sport it is, football, basketball, baseball, etc. That's how I personally feel. And I think the Jets, one, proved a couple things to people last night. One, they are a gritty ass team. It's a New York team, even though they play in New Jersey. But either way, they caught two bodies this weekend. Caught the MetLife bodying from the Cowboys, and they caught the MetLife bodying of Aaron Rodgers' probably career and his Achilles.
Yeah.
No, and not trying to be funny or cute about that because that does suck. Um, but in that same vein, you started to realize like teams like this, like the Jets in particular, with coaches that are vibrant and that are want to be in the game and have that type of impact. They aren't these just like laid back coaches like Bill Belichick just sits there and just blitz them. These types of guys are changing the NFL. This team, and I hope, and I'm never like, I'm not a fan of the Jets. I always root for underdogs if I'm not like rooting for the team, obviously that they're playing, of course. I'm a big underdog guy. Granted, the Aaron Rodgers made that team less of an underdog, but once again, now they are an underdog again with Zach Wilson, the MILF hunter, the MILF slayer, um, in the pocket, making things happen. And I think he's got a really cool core around him that could really make a crazy wave in their division in the AFC East. Because that division, I mean, granted, we all know like the Buffalo Bills are in the division. We know the Patriots are in the division. We know the Dolphins are in that division. That's going to be a crazy division. And then the last thing they proved is that once again, and maybe my dad was really right when I first said this, when I first said it about Josh Allen, he's really not that guy. He's really not that guy, man. He's really not. Like, once again, it's one of those situations. I get it's the first week of the season,
He's
but
a guy, but he's not that guy.
he's not that guy, man. Like, I don't care who he has. Like, he just can't. He's not gonna bring them a Super Bowl. It's just not gonna happen. Bills
Nope.
fans, sorry. He's not going to bring them a Super Bowl. There's only a few teams in the NFL right now with quarterbacks that can bring their teams to Super Bowls. And I'm sure you could probably list them off and you're like, okay, damn, like that's a realization. Like, I don't think Bryce Young's going to bring the Panthers to a Super Bowl right now. You think I'm crazy? But like, I'll give it time. He's a rookie. But your guy, Josh Allen, he's not that guy, man. And you got to be able to beat teams. Like, if the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, Aaron Rodgers, goes down in the first drive of the game, you're telling me you can't beat that team that's not better than you?
He was
Uh,
seeing ghosts. I don't
on
even
paper.
know what he was like, what he saw The problem
Three
is
picks.
the interceptions he was throwing.
Same dude.
He would loft them up. Yeah, all to the same dude. He would loft them up deep balls, and it would just be the receiver and two guys on the opposing team running parallel with him down the field. So I don't even know what he was seeing. Like none of those guys were even remotely open at any point in time. And it drives me a little insane because everyone wants to talk about Dak Prescott's interceptions when Josh Allen's really the one with the turnover problem, and Dak has been historically a ball protector. But like I said, we're gonna push it back. I just had to throw that out there. But I mean, the Jets look good, but you're tripping. Jets ain't scaring nobody. They're not going to the playoffs. Their season is over. Their season ruptured with Aaron Rodgers' Achilles. It's as simple as that.
Oh my God.
Zach Wilson is
Oh,
also not that guy. He is also not that guy. He might be that guy in your mom's group chat, the little neighborhood watch Facebook group page. He might be the guy in those messages, but when we talking football, nah, Zach Wilson is not that nigga. Not at all. It's not happening. Their season is done for. They need to bring somebody in. They better be calling Tom Brady's bitch ass. He like he having way too much fun out here in retirement. Better pull his ass back one more time. Show Aaron Rodgers how it's done, and have Aaron Rodgers look like a bitch, bro. Because if Tom Brady comes in here and he starts slicing and dicing, he takes your team to a Super Bowl and win, you're going to look like a whole ass bitch. But that's just what it is. The Jets are done. The defense is amazing, man. It's a shame that they're going to waste the defense. It reminds me of the Jacksonville Jaguars defense that was being led by Blake Bortles, where they just absolutely
offense,
wasted.
yeah.
Yeah, Blake Bortles was running the offense, so he absolutely wasted that legendary defense that the Jacksonville Jaguars had. That was absolutely Super Bowl worthy. Just like this Jets defense, it could very well be Super Bowl worthy. They look like that, and the running game looks like that. But I don't think Zach Wilson can progress them forward. He looked like ass. The defense won them that game. And Josh Allen gave them every reason to stay in that game. Because if Josh Allen didn't throw those picks and put together good drives, that's a blowout, easily. That's an easy game done for. Aaron Rodgers out of here. Get your bitch ass out of here. Ain't nobody talking about the Jets. Jets are over with. Bills are not them. They're not going to Super Bowl. They're not winning a Super Bowl. Patriots era is over. It ended with Tom Brady. Bill Belichick is just a regular ass coach without Tom Brady. Mac Jones is a fucking prep ass loser. We don't fuck with him. It's Dolphins country. Tua is the man. Tyreek Hill is unguardable, fast as fuck. They got Jalen Waddle who can do the exact same thing. You'll probably see him do it next week. They usually trade off weeks. Jalen Waddle's gonna go crazy next week. Tua's that guy. Once Jalen Ramsey comes back, you're not going to be able to pass on him either. Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard playing opposite sides as cornerback, done for. Dolphins, that's an easy division. I ain't even worried about that. Jets suck ass.
AFC's a rough bout right now, but I do want to hit on the 49ers. And then we'll get to your team. 49ers are the bigger competition in the NFC right now, aside from probably the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cowboys at the moment. We've got to make that known. They've been the top few teams, or Cowboys haven't been the team, but they've been like trying to get to that point. This might be obviously their year to do so. I don't think it will be, but either way, the 49ers look good. I think that once again they're starting to come back to the throne, or come back to the top, like when they were with Colin Kaepernick before all that shit happened. Shout out my boy Colin Kaepernick. Ain't no hate, all love around here, my boy. Doing what you think's right. I can respect it, but shut your fucking mouth to the fucking football. And just like shut up and dribble. I want to let you get the first hand on your boys. So I'll give the preface, and you can kind of go into detail because I know you've got every fucking analysis known to man on this. So if anybody continued to watch the shellacking of the New York Giants in MetLife, because that was the first shellacking in MetLife. It was bad. The Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones Cowboys, the Jones boys went ahead and beat the absolute
How about you
shit.
put some bass in your voice when you talking about the Cowboys? Put some bass. Say with your chest, nigga.
They absolutely beat the living shit out of the Giant. They made them look like children. I want to let my man Mike Bynum go ahead and take the lead on that one.
So it's my turn? Oh, it's my turn. All right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just saw the biggest whoop down that you could probably remember in NFL. You probably cannot recall another game where you saw that was an absolute whoop down in the NFL in your life. There's obviously been them, but I don't know if you can recall. And if you do recall, you probably realize that the last few have been Cowboys dubs in the past couple years because we do this quite regularly. We actually do this a few times a season where we put the brakes on somebody. But I got a few people that I want to talk to because I'm watching all these sports analyst shows, and all preseason we were talking about Daniel Bone Jones. He got the big contract. People were really trying to say, who would you rather have, Daniel Jones or Dak Prescott? It was all over FS1. I seen the topic. It was up there every single time. Daniel Jones or Dak Prescott. People were arguing Daniel Jones. I was told they got Darren Waller in there, a real weapon. I was told they got speed with Jalen Hyatt on the outside, rookie receiver. How you going to stop him now? You gave Daniel Jones weapons. Watch him. He can run. He can run. He's athletic. He can escape the pocket. Your pressure ain't going to do nothing. Defense is good. They got coach of the year. They're a well-coached team. You can't go in there and do that. They're going to be good. They got Saquon Barkley. They just paid him. I just called him almost broccoli, but he looked like a piece of goddamn broccoli when up against us. Aside of talking about the Giants, because this is my time to be able to talk about the boys, so I don't even want to keep speaking on the Giants because honestly, I couldn't even tell if they were on the field. It didn't look like it to me. I didn't see nobody on the motherfucking field. It looked like they didn't show up. We came to New York. We ready to party. Cowboy style. Woo! We ready to party. Party with Jerry Jones. In New York, baby. It's New York time. Giants feel good. Jets feel good. New York's hype. You know, shout out my friend Kelsey Hazard. She was a longtime Cowboys fan her whole life. She just transitioned over to the New York Giants now that she's back in New York and living there and probably going to stay there for the remainder of her life. She is now a Giants fan. I kept trying to tell her, don't make the move. Our time is coming. You got to at least be a Cowboys fan while the time comes. Unfortunately, she hopped off the bus right before we made the stop to the good old Dallas Cowboys. And now look at us. Absolute beatdown. Absolute beatdown. Michael Parsons, dog. Dogs all along the field. Stephon Gilmore, dog. Trayvon Diggs, dog. We were eating. We didn't even need the offense. Offense didn't even have to do shit. We were over there chilling. TP got his touchdowns. You know, Dak threw a few passes, whatever. Tight end. You know, Jake Ferguson wants to drop touchdowns. Makes Dak's stats look a little worse, but, you know, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. We can do that when we beating teams 40-0. 40-0. What did Michael Irvin said? We fed them a 40 burger with a donut for dessert, nigga. That's 40-0 for all you slow-ass people that be watching. 40-0. So all I got to say is to Joy Taylor, to Shady McCoy, to Stephen A., to Shannon Sharp, to Richard Sherman, to people that want to talk shit about the Cowboys all day, guess what? This is going to be a long season. That's not a one-week thing. We got Zach Wilson coming up next. This boy is going to be seeing ghosts. He's going to be so scared you can see it. If he was scared against the fucking Buffalo's defense, this boy's going to be hurt, man. And yeah, Jets defense is going to be good. They're going to give us some problems. Whatever. I'll believe it when I see it. It don't even matter because we're going to score 2 touchdowns on defense. We might have the best offense on defense. I'm done, man. Go ahead, go ahead. Praise the Cowboys because you were talking a lot of mess before the season, and now you're gonna have to hear it from me every week. So go ahead. What you
What
got?
you think they're gonna go undefeated? I swear to God, if they get a loss, I'm gonna be just like Stephen A. On the damn first take. I'm gonna be pulling up with a damn cowboy hat, little chaw in my mouth, or a little what's it called? Not even pine straw. You know what I'm talking about? A little tumbleweed in my mouth, chewing on it. Like there them go them Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
Well, guess what
Look,
you're not
what
doing
you
this week? That.
I will give them their grace. Michael Parsons is him. You did say, and I will give it to you. I'm sure the betting things on like DraftKings and stuff has probably had it up there too for defensive player of the year and all these things. Like, I mean, I'll give Mike any of his props, when it comes. I'll give him his props. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong off the top. But as I've mentioned this before, and you even slightly mentioned it. You probably didn't even realize it. Wait around the time we're actually good. We're good again. The good old boys, the good old days, basically. Yeah, the Cowboys, they have a few of those every year. You said like, oh, we have a couple of shellackings. What happens every year? What happens every year, Mike? Mike.
I don't know. We've gone 12-5 the past 2 years, so it's pretty
Okay,
fucking
so
good
so
seasons.
what's
I
your
don't
what's
know.
your who cares about your regular season, bro? You want to win the Super Bowl.
Oh,
You
you
want to
talking about
win
the
in
playoffs? You
the
talking
playoffs.
about when we ended Tom Brady's career and Dak Prescott went crazy and we scored like 6 touchdowns? I don't know, man. We pretty
What
good.
happened after that round? What happened?
I'm at to check Pro Football Reference. I can't even remember, man. To be honest, I'm at to check Pro Football Reference
No,
real quick.
I
We
know.
ain't got the time though.
For the folks out there listening, I know damn well he knows exactly what happened, and they will continue to do that because that's who the Cowboys are. They are supposed to be a winning organization. I'm a Yankees fan, right? The Yankees and the Cowboys are the same. They are the state. They are the American team. That's the team everybody knows. That's the team that wins the most, supposed to win the most, and do all this, that, and the other. And like that's America's team. Cowboys have been stamped with America's team back in like the 70s, bro. Like this is the thing. There's a reason people in New York love the Cowboys. If they didn't grow up in New York, even if they did, they might be a Cowboys fan because of the games that would come on. I'm gonna tell you, Michael get his DPOY. You guys might have a 13-4 season for all I care. Number one seed in NFC. I mean, shit. But I mean, let's be honest, bro. Let's be honest. We know the Cowboys can't make it past. They cannot make it past getting into the Super Bowl. They can't get there. They can't do it. Dak is not ready. He's still not ready. I don't know when that man's gonna be ready. He might be 45 and ready. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'll give you this. Yeah, the defense is legit, bro. The defense is legit. And defense does win championships. The Steelers did it for years. And then the Ravens showed it in that same bout when it was between the Ravens and the Steelers within that division. But let me tell you something. Dak isn't that guy. And when Dak isn't that guy, when it comes time to have those long drives, game-winning drives, no matter what the stats say, when it really, really matters, he ain't gonna be there. He ain't gonna show up. He's gonna be seeing a ghost. He's gonna be seeing the ghost of the. He's gonna be seeing the ghost of the past. The Eagles. The Eagles. He gonna see. Next thing you know, he's gonna see who's next. The 49ers.
All I know
He's
is Dak is about to cook himself up some barbecue, hot, tangy sauce chicken wings with Sauce Gardner next week. Sauce Gardner, you gonna help us make our tangy, saucy chicken wings when we eat that nigga up next week. That's all I know. I'm through talking about it. We let the play do the talking on this side. We let the play do the talking
nah.
because next week
I feel that.
we gonna discuss the Cowboys again, and guess what? We also gonna discuss. We gonna discuss the Panthers again, and we gonna have reoccurring conversations week in week out. So that's all I gotta say.
Nah, you might have to discuss the death of Zach Wilson after next week. You might have to discuss
Pray,
the actual.
pray for my man, dude.
I,
Pray
I
for
mean, I
my
really
man.
am praying for him, low key. But on a lighter note, I know we went on a long sports topic. For the people that like the sports side of this, I really want you guys to kind of like let us know because if you like it, great. If you don't like it, we're still going to talk about it, but we could condense it a little bit more. We're still working towards it. Um, Obviously, we've been pretty consistent in this. We've obviously got a lot better, but I appreciate all y'all. And just giving us any feedback with us privately. I'd really appreciate if it was on the other platforms that we post on. But either way, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's appreciated and definitely take it a listen. But to move on to the sector that basically, runs the entirety of this podcast is typically music. We know that music, obviously, as I always say, runs the world. It runs culture. It belongs in the culture. It is what it is, type of thing. And I kind of want to combine two topics that we put together. We had two separate ones, but I know we went kind of long on the NFL side, but that's probably going to be the case for the next few weeks, probably. Especially for the folks that if the Cowboys are winning, it's gonna be long. I'm just gonna let it be known, like they winning, it's gonna be long. And if there's any crazy games, but on a lighter note, not even necessarily on a lighter note because we're talking about some not light shit. There's three female artists that, as of late, actually four or five in total, two collaborations, one solo. I'll speak directly on the solo piece first, being in Doja Cat drops her new song Demons and new video, which is crazy. Watch the if you guys haven't seen the reaction, watch the reaction, the way that Kai Cenat reacts to it. Shout out boy Kai Cenat. And you will truly understand what we're talking about when we talk about this today. And then we've got a couple other songs that came out from four other ladies in the scene right now that are well known for a number of the ways that they go about their business. Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion drop a new song called Bongos, and then Lotto and Sexy Red dropped the remix to Peaches and Eggplants. And if you haven't listened to them, before you go through this, take a quick listen to it. I want to make sure you guys are well informed, and I want to have the conversation around one being the solo act. We obviously know Doja Cat had, as of late, we spoke about how she talked about how she doesn't really care about her fans, or like her fans this, that, and the other. Like basically she like ostracized the people that like think that what Doja Cat says is like they don't like it. She basically said, like, I don't care if you don't like what I say, type of thing. You don't have to have me. Lost a ton of followers. We spoke about this on a prior podcast, so go back and take a listen to that. But with this new song Demons, if you haven't listened to it or watched the video, watch it. I'm telling you, you will be disturbed. Genuinely, like actually disturbed. But really the question on her side is, and I know this is something that Mike probably feels, and we probably agree on this, to be frank, has she fallen off the deep end at this point? Or is she just in that mode right now that from a female artist we probably don't see too often, where they're getting super creative on that artistic side, like a Kendrick Lamar, those people that try different things out?
So originally I was on the boat of we've completely lost Doja Cat, the artist that we fell in love with. For the niggas out there, the curves and everything that we fell in love with from that came with Doja Cat, because there was a lot and it was great. I was like, man, we lost her. Not only did we lose her to the whites, but we lost her to Satan as well. She's gone crazy. She sold her soul. She's on some weird shit, wild tattoos everywhere. And I was just like, oh, it's gone. I don't know what happened. Fame hit her quick, like a freight train. Right. And I was listening to the songs, and the songs that came out that are going to be on this next album, the rap album, I've liked them individually, but I still thought everything around it, the way she was promoting it, the way she's talking around it, I thought, it just seemed off. I was like, it was kind of turning me off. So Demons came out, and what I did is I watched the Demons music video, and then I went back and I watched the Paint the Town Red music video. Then I went back and I watched the Attention music video. And those are the three singles that have dropped so far off what will be Doja Cat's new album. And when I sat back and I did that, I was like, wow. I am so used to watered down, same sound type music that when an artist gives me a fuck you in an artistic manner and was switching up the style, and the songs are good. I couldn't even pick up on it in real time. And once I noticed that, I was like, hold up. Let me change my mind frame. Let me look at it. Let me frame this in a different mind, in a different light. I was like, Doja Cat is giving us works of art and the biggest fuck you that I've ever seen, or that I've seen in a long time. And the shit is crazy. She's gone 3 for 3. Attention is a dope song. Music video was fire. Paint the Town Red is one of the biggest songs in the world right now. Statistically speaking, it is outperforming WAP, which is crazy. I know culturally it is not outperforming WAP, but statistically speaking, Paint the Town Red is outperforming WAP, which is absolutely just, it just shows you how big that song is. Demons, that music video was fire for me. I thought that shit was crazy. The song itself, the hook is good, is catchy. The verses are very forgettable, and seem like she took 5 minutes on it. So as a song perspective, it's not the best, but it's gonna do what it does. With it being paired with the music video, it's gonna do what it does. It's an artistic piece, and I was like, damn, I don't want to be the guy that when we look back 10 years from now, everyone's talking about that Doja Cat rap album and the whole story around it, and how she was saying fuck you, and how this was like a big artistic piece. And I was sitting there saying this shit's trash, and I couldn't see it for what it was in the moment. And now I do, Doja. I see it for what it was for the moment. I don't think you're crazy. Well, I think you're crazy, but I don't think that it's affecting the music per se.
Yeah, I mean, I have to disagree to some degree here. I know that sounds redundant, but um, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I mean, I know that obviously the Paint the Town Red song is, yes, it is absolutely everywhere. If you're on TikTok, any freaking app known to man at this point, you've probably seen some little girl dance to it. And it's honestly, they ain't even 18, so you need to stop watching if you're an adult. That's weird. Um, and then two, obviously attention, like you mentioned, good song. I'm not really like it where I'm going to be replay it all the time over and over again, but I think it's a good song. And then Demons, song wise, song wise is definitely the weaker of the three.
Yeah.
The weakest, I should say. But conceptually, I understand what you're getting at, and I kind of get it myself. Maybe I didn't have that perspective fully. Maybe you giving me a better understanding on that side of things, but I definitely think she's falling off the wagon a bit. I'm not going to sit here and like, I'm not saying you're an idiot, but I'm not going to be an idiot about it. From my perspective, right? Everyone has an opinion just like that. Everybody has an asshole. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's more kind of like you were saying when it comes to the football side of things. It's like kind of like let the play speak more or less. When the album comes out, we'll be able to see what artistic stuff she's getting at, because we kind of already get it. It's like, oh fuck you, like this kind of triggered me. This whole situation a few weeks ago, months ago. I don't know how long ago it was with the whole like um fans not agreeing with her, etc. She was like, okay, fuck you. Like I don't really care. So it's like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm making money. You're just gonna be out here because if you hate me, you're still a fan, right? That's what I've been hearing that everywhere, and it's like, okay, like I mean, I guess you're right, because fans are fanatics by technical definition,
Yeah.
and it could be a fanatic in either direction. But I definitely think that when it comes to Doja has a very unique style. She always has had a unique style. That's what made her so, not just the way she looks, but the way that she kind of came to stardom. Um, and I think there's a fine line she's walking on right now, or she's kind of broken the seal on it a bit. For me, maybe for you, you're probably like, oh, she's walking on the right line. Like, right now she's playing both sides really well. And I just think Doja isn't built for a consistent piece of art, like more or less, like a compilation on one compilation of songs with a similar meaning and or message. Whereas I think you're gonna see where she is fucking crazy and like, dude, like you might be a little bit delusional, like in the way you are now. Because you can have good songs, you're gonna make your bread, she's making plenty of money. Like I'm not worried, she's not worried about that. She wants to make sure she's heard, she wants to make sure she's understood. everybody wants to be understood. I can completely get where she's coming from on that, but I definitely think from my perspective, she's losing out. She's losing me a bit. I'm a music fan, so I'll listen to it. And obviously, we do this together. We do the pod. Like I'm doing it for research as well. So I'll give you a shot, but I don't see that becoming something that's going to be memorable, let alone something that I'm like, oh, like she's a genius for doing this. That's my personal opinion.
I think that Doja Cat's crazy. Like, let me make that clear if I didn't. I think that she is crazy. I think two things can be true at the same time. What I also think is that what Doja Cat is proving right now is that she's not looking to become the next big star or, you know, be bigger than the planet. She's already left Earth. I think that Doja Cat has proven that she's left Earth. She is acting in a Kanye-esque way where it's fuck everybody. I don't give a shit about the repercussions. And the music is not, it's not being reflected in how the music's being played. It's the music's not taking a kickback in any aspect at all. Like all these songs have been getting rotations from what I've heard. I've heard Attention Around. I've heard fucking obviously Paint the Town Red is everywhere. It's a huge song. Demons, whether people like it or not, they're talking about it constantly. We're talking about it right now. So for me, while I do think she's crazy, I think Doja Cat is showing that like and we very rarely see it these days because a bunch of these artists are just 2 to 4 year artists. They have such a short run and then it's just gone. Like we're seeing we saw what happened with Roddy Ricch. Roddy Ricch had his debut album and went crazy. He's out of here. Niggas don't want to hear a single from Roddy Ricch. Lil Baby is on the cusp of being out of here if he can't deliver on his next album. People are getting tired of his shit. It's fucking Lil Baby. The Baby's been out of here. Niggas have short runways and they're not those decade artists anymore. And I think that Doja Cat right now, whether she's trying to do it or not, is proving that she's going to be here. She's not going nowhere. Because she's just absolutely saying fuck you to everybody. And right now is sitting on the biggest song in the world. She's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think especially coming from a female artist, maybe we have different perspective. Not saying you and I have different perspective, but I think more or less the world and media in and of itself. Coming from a female artist, you don't hear them start to change styles a lot. So that might be more or less a culture shock, more or less than anything. Maybe even on my part too. Maybe I'm not used to it where I'm seeing a creative or extreme creativity from a female artist, you know?
Yeah.
So, on that note, talking about female artists, like I said, we have four other ones. Both did collabs together. We had Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. We all know the famous, literally probably one of the most played songs in this decade. WAP, who that went absolutely insane. They put a new song out called Bongos, and then in that same vein, our friends Sexy Red and Lotto put out a remix, as I mentioned, to Peaches and Eggplants. Peaches and Eggplants is I fucking love that song. But I want to kind of get a better understanding of what we see in terms of the female rap game. I kind of segued into it when I was talking about Doja and how she's trying to change lanes, it seems like, a bit and not be as poppy. I mean, she's going to be poppy, but still trying to be rap at the same time. I want to get first your initial thoughts on both of them. Like, were they good? Were they bad? I don't need a rating or anything. Just like, were the songs, what did you think of the songs or slash remix from either side?
Both trash. Absolute garbage songs. Bongos, I like the music video because, I do love myself some bongos, if you know what I mean. But the song itself was a trash song. I couldn't get with the flow. The hook there was nothing that gravitated me towards the hook. The verses were just garbage. There was nothing they were talking about that was worth anything. Cardi B usually gives us those liners that, like, even from a dude, like Cardi B gives you them one liners. She's like the Drake of female rappers, where she just gives you those pop, pop, pop. You're gonna get the, like, all the girls are gonna start saying this on their Snapchat stories or Instagram stories when they're drunk with their friends. They're gonna say this one Cardi line that just came out, but we didn't get that. Uh, when it comes to peaches and eggplants, I'm not gonna, like, that shit was just. I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. Like, that's not for me. I don't necessarily know who that's for at all, but it sure as hell wasn't for me. I don't know why, but it's just a little too much for me. I prefer the original peaches and eggplants. But that's me. So, but as far as the state of, this new era of female rap and where it's going, I really think that, I think that we're in the worst era right now. Like, and I think that it'll get better, but this is just the intro era. This era has to happen. From a marketing standpoint, this was the breakthrough. The only way to get in the door for the ladies that want to rap is through this sexy, booty popping, talking about a bunch of crazy, promiscuous lyrics and the generic promiscuous music video. That's the way in. That's the way to capture the masses and, become household names. It was the only way it was going to happen. Literally, like, it just, like, no, before that, nobody wanted to hear them rap. And I'm not saying anything that no one already knows. I didn't care I didn't care to hear them rap, to be honest. I rather them do R&B or pop or something like that. But when it comes to rap, they had to do just that, and that's what they're doing. But I think that we're starting to come to the end. I don't know if they will end it, if they will realize that the era is coming to an end, but I think people are tired of the era and they need to move on. And, we were just talking about Doja Cat, and whether you like it or not, Doja Cat's not falling in the lane of these other chicks. She's making music, different music, trying different sounds, and it's working. It's literally working. So don't tell me it can't be done. But I think that, like, these rappers, the way to, like, condition the masses to want to hear a female's voice in a hip hop hard banging song was through these twerk sounding raps. And now that we're conditioned to do that and we're conditioned to look for those type of artists, I do think in the next 5 years that those types of rappers and sounds will start to diminish or decrease or depreciate over time. And what we'll see appreciate is more artistic pushing female rappers, more lyrically gifted female rappers. It'll open the door because now they can go to the labels. Now the labels are looking for these girls that they can grab. So now they're going to see some more talented ones.
For girls they can grab. That's crazy, bro.
Hey, you know how the business goes. You know how the Hollywood and music business go. We grab them.
Crazy.
We grab them by the pussy and we make them millionaires, and that's just how it goes. Donald Trump told you. He told you he's trying to make America great again, and sometimes I guess that's just what you got to do. So that's what the music label is going to do, and I think you'll see a transition into better music, better quality music, and better topics per se as well.
Yeah, I mean, just to do, like, I agree with you on both the bongos and Peaches Eggplant remix. I literally texted you about the Peaches and Eggplants one.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I was like uncomfortable listening to it by myself. Like, I just like, all right, like they out here talking crazy about like pop on my pussy. I'm like, bro, what? Like, how did this get to this? Like, see how the song originally was supposed to be subliminal. It's like, oh, like this peaches and eggplants. We all know what the peaches and eggplants are. Like, we get it. Bongos was just garbage, like just flat out. Honestly, Peaches Eggplants was a better song just because I liked the beat of the song from the original song.
Yeah,
that's it.
Only reason, because I knew how the original.
Only reason. Exactly, and then like I said, like you said, I would wholeheartedly listen to the Peaches and Eggplants original with 21 and what's his name, Dewey, whatever his name is, Dory, or I don't fucking know his name. That's so weird. But the booty pop and stuff, first of all, I've never been for it. I mean, yes, it is nice to see the music videos. I, you know, I can't sit here and say I don't like seeing the music videos. But it's the same. And this goes to my hot take that people like, I think I might have told you before, or I might have said on the pod. But I told people, I was like, dude, it's the same way I feel about Ice Spice. Ice Spice makes the drill shit, but it's like she's focused on her music videos because dudes are obsessed with her about, oh, she's shaking her booty. I'm like, bro, this shit is lame, bro. This is not good. Like, I don't like this. It's not good. And like I said, maybe it is that it's coming from a female voice, and it's unfortunate that I have to think that way, and I'm thinking that way. But as you did mention, it could be a segue, and it has to be a segue into a different, more artistic way of going about rap. Because right now we're in the era of no offense, not to say I'm not a feminist as well, but like we're in the era of femininity. So these women are trying to be like, hey, shake your ass, like it's shake what your mama gave you type of thing. And it's like nobody's telling you shouldn't do that. Like we've had this conversation before. I don't care what you do with your body, bro. Don't care. As long as you ain't my girl. Like, I don't care what you do with your body. But at the end of the day, like it will inherently become less attractive to the masses of men that are listening to this stuff, and then it will become somewhat unattractive to the other women that are wearing here listening to this stuff, because then they got to kind of come to their senses and be like, oh damn, like this isn't really like that. Yeah, it's not like that. It's not it. It's not the one. Like this isn't the shit that I want to be listening to. Like it was fun while it lasted. And shout out Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B for making it extremely, extremely acceptable with a banger song. But Cardi B was doing that shit before, like trying to make, hey, pussy pop, do this. She ain't as crazy as Sexy Red. Sexy Red just be out of pocket. She just be saying whatever, bro. She says whatever. She's the definition of a ratchet girl. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that guy, but it's the truth. No offense, Sexy Red. I think you're cool, but that's just what you are to me. And I think the direction is going, like you said, is this the introduction? I just hope that people see the signs. As any woman getting in the female rap, or the ones that are in it see the signs more or less earlier than sooner than later. So they're not stuck in a trap where they're becoming that one sound artist like a little baby, like Da Baby, like people that have those sounds that are so consistent and they're literally the exact same and they can never change a lane. There's a difference in changing a lane and still being what made you famous to a degree with similar sounds, but when you start jumping and going completely in left field, like that's when you lose traction. That's when people listen to you less. There's all types of ramifications behind that, and consequences, I should say, that will not put you in the best position financially or in your whole career in and of itself. Granted, you probably made enough money in your career to be fine, but um, ladies, don't be trying to hype this shit up. Because if you try to hype this shit up, I ain't gonna slap you. I ain't gonna touch no woman. I ain't gonna hit no woman. But I will tell you this shit. I will tell you this shit's trash, and I will tell you your music taste sucks. Um, because there's a lot of good music out there that ain't this. So that's just my final point. I think they're all great women. I'm sure. Actually, no, Doja Cat is crazy and Sexy Red a little too ratchet for me, but
Yeah, she a
um,
little too much for me
she a
too.
little too much for me. I'm pretty lenient, or not pretty lenient, but I'm pretty patient. But I don't got no patience for that dog. Um, but leading into our last topic of the night, one of the guy, the man, the him, he is him, that guy, Drake, motherfucking Aubrey Drake Graham. He, as of I believe last week, because we would have probably talked about it on the last pod, or it would have been like probably like getting close to either or this one or the last one. But Drake finally lets people know, like, oh, this is the drop date for his album being September the 22nd for all the dogs. Um, but as we mentioned before on the pod, is very rarely does Drake say, hey, I'm dropping an album, like my solo album, on this day. Very, I mean, I can't even tell you when he's actually done it, because most of the ones I remember is just like, oh shit, new Drake album, sick. Like, and it's Drake solo. Not talking about like the 21 one where that was like somewhat announced and like no collabs, but things that are he's doing it is his own project, OVO Studios, OVO Records. He's announced this. Really, the only question I have, and I'm serious about this, I know there's a ton of hype around this. And speaking of that, September 22nd, he's going to be in Charlotte, actually. So it's going to actually be insane. Um, but with that being said, I believe it's Charlotte. It might be Charlotte. Yeah, it should be Charlotte. It is Charlotte. With all the hype that's around this album, should we, as music fans, knowing how hype goes, because there's expectations, like there's an expectation for like a there was an expectation for like a little baby, right? Like when little baby drops it on, it should be like, oh, this should be great, right? And then there's, other people like even like a 21 or some people like that. They have a bar. And if they don't reach that bar, we're upset, right?
Yeah.
Drake's like up here. We know this. Like that's the expectation we have of him. And you know how hard it is when your expectations are high, just in everyday life, when your expectations are high, how often they aren't met and you're disappointed. You're more upset and more likely to not like something because your expectations were so high. You know exactly where I'm coming from in that regard.
Yeah.
So do you think that this album could be a flop?
No
And
shot.
I want to bring this up again. I want to bring it up again. I just want to reiterate the question for anybody that's listening and watching. Will this album be a flop? Could it be a flop? Could it be a flop? Is the question.
No shot. No shot. And for Drake's sake, I hope it's not a flop. Well, one, we've never truly gotten a Drake flop before. So if this is the flop, if this is the one that he's hyping up the most, the one that Lil Yachty's saying it's the best verses that he's heard from Drake of all time, like he's got some of his best verses up there. The one that on the day that we all expected to drop, the day that Amazon expected it to drop, you did not drop, which I don't know about you, but obviously the hype and the magnitude is still there. It's fucking Drake. But I do kind of get the sense that it died down a little bit since like the letdown of it not dropping. Like I don't think that the us knowing that September 22nd is when it's coming out is as big as it was when we thought it was coming out last week or a couple weeks ago, whenever it was. Like that disappointment kind of still resonating with people. And obviously, once it hits September 20th and we're a couple days away, all that hype will come running back because we'll know we're getting new Drake
You're
music.
gonna see the memes everywhere. Me knowing the new Drake album's coming out, blah blah blah. Like
Yep,
it's gonna be
like
everywhere.
clockwork. So
Exactly.
the reason why I say this cannot flop is because literally it cannot and it should not flop. If this flops, that is big. That is really big. And I mean, we also have to mention that a Drake flop could be him doing 150K. That's a flop. That's most people's best first week sales, but that's a Drake flop. And if that happens, that would be telling because we've never really seen a run like Drake's peak before. The last time we've seen somebody do a run that way, and not because I'm biased or anything, but just running the game at a top peak was Lil Wayne. He was the last example of what we saw of Drake, and Drake has did that and some times two. This peak is insane. But if he flops, then the state of rap is in a really bad place because if Drake is on the decline and there's no predecessor in sight at all that can fill and, that's a whole chunk of market share that's being left out there. And I don't know that one or two people can fill that market share. I think that
Mm.
rap in itself would be in such bad shape if Drake flopped this rap album because I think that what that will show is that we are truly moving to the DJ EDM wave of music, Latin type music,
Yeah.
what we were just talking about, booty twerking music. We would have lost rap. So we need Drake to not only not flop, but deliver hardcore bars that we can flaunt and put under our Instagram captions and finally feel like absolute dogs again. So please, Drake, do not flop.
Yeah. And I'll take not necessarily blame, but I'll take uh props on this one to putting this question in the doc, but like, I mean, I don't think it's gonna flop, right? I don't think so. Obviously, there's always and there's levels to this shit. But like you said, a Drake flop is completely different from a Roddy Rich flop. Like Roddy Rich flop, that shit is not getting listened to. Like, ain't people just
You see that little Instagram live where he was playing a snippet of his new song and it went from like 10,000 viewers and just kept going down to like 6,000 periodically throughout the song.
bro, it's one of those things. So with that being said, we know, and I think you and I both know. Obviously, I love a good Drake song, and we said this before when we spoke about the For All the Dogs album, and what our expectation of it should be, and understanding that we want to actually hear dog songs. We want to hear like all the women. Like, no offense to women, we don't want to be hearing all this shit like, oh, like he don't love you, like this type of, like, dude, like, we get it. You got all the girls, dude. You don't need to do this no more. You don't need to do this. They still gonna love you. Like, I want you to kind of get in that weekend bag where you're a little toxic, you're a little like, you kind of for the boys. Everything's for, remember the Saturdays for the boys thing that went around back when we were in college. That type of ideology, giving us something to give a little bit here and there. And if it does somehow flop, I was thinking the same thought when you said this. We are in a scary place. Because I look, dating old girl, bro. She loves that EDM bullshit, bro. I cannot sit here and listen to EDM music everywhere I go. I will die. I will die. Like, we're gonna be, and the thing is, we can't keep playing these 2010s, 2000 throwbacks forever, bro. They get played everywhere, everywhere. I'm tired. I'm not tired of it. I can still listen to, it, especially if I'm a little, if I'm a little, but like,
I want new classics though.
I want new song, like, bro, like, there's so many good things that could come out of the rap game right now. Like, I feel like we're on I'm not, no offense, I'm not talking about the female rap side. More or less I'm talking about like the dudes rapping it that are like actually in the game. Damn, that's fucked up. Um,
They're actually in the game, like,
well, I
not
mean, I don't.
participation trophies.
I don't really consider like a few of the ladies we talked about in the game, maybe a couple, but not all of them. I definitely will not give them that clout. Meg Thee Stallion definitely ain't, bro. Tori didn't do it, by the way. But in that same vein, I feel like we're on the cusp of like something great because he might, for all we know, bring on a different type of style where more rappers that are currently in the game are like, okay, we need to adopt that. Like, we need to take that on because the highest form of flattery is imitation. We know that. Like, you know that. We all do. If you don't know that, you've probably been living under a rock or you probably didn't have parents or didn't have people to tell you that. Because that's just sad. But if he does what we think he should do, it could be the beginning of an era of rap that will literally open the doors back into the 2016, 2015, 2014 times, 2017, like that little 4 year stretch of rap where it's like, dude, we're getting banger after banger after banger after banger. Ain't even banger, ain't even gotta be like party bangers. Just like, dude, these are just gas. Like, there's nothing I'm gonna say bad about it. I want to be able to, like I said, bang some of the cars in the song, and I also want to be able to be like a little sad boy, but sad boy, not like sad boy, like I'm being a sad girl in those shoes. Like, I want some Marvin's Room type of vibe, my guy, because I'm on that energy, my G. I need that. I need this album more than anything. Please. I'm begging.
I want some
We,
look alive type vibe.
yeah, like, fuck everything. I'm out here doing this, that, and the other. So, that being said, I don't think it will. I just wanted to ask to see if you might have had second thoughts. I know we're both big Drake fans. I'm a big Drake. Obviously, I think I'm still in reality a bigger Travis Scott fan, but I think that this could be, and if he has collabs on there, they can't fucking don't Like, don't bring like I really hope you don't try to bring some just trash ass nigga up there, bro. Like, and try to make him into something, be his best verse, and be like, damn, that verse was kind of trash, low key, but Drake's shit was great.
Yeah.
Like you be skipping around the song, like, okay, minute 35, this guy's comes on until 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Then we can
Nah, if
people listen to this
Drake
song.
gives you the fucking pat on the back, that means you next up for the at least for the next few years. Because every time Drake's
Yeah,
hopped on a nigga that we weren't too sure about, he was
he
next
hopped on a
up.
nigga.
Pause.
Hey, I don't know what you into. I don't know what you into, Drake, but do you think?
That nigga, whoever it was that he hopped on that nigga's song, that nigga's song, that nigga ended up being next up for at least a couple years or at least that year.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important because I don't know. I don't know how I always feel about like fall albums because that's the beginning of fall when he drops his album. If you didn't know,
That's back to school,
um,
bro. Back to school
yeah,
albums.
back to school albums usually come out like a few weeks before like college school, like colleges. Right now, like obviously you got the schools like the public school, not even public school, but you got like the grade schools going back to school,
Well,
and then you got
this
college.
for you know what this for all the dogs albums gonna be? This is gonna be basement albums for all the fucking pledges out there that are fucking scared shitless and it's dark as hell, and for all the dogs bumping in the background, it's a basement album.
I'm gonna get packing out front of your feet. Yeah. Dude, I really want to hear him go like crazy because I listened to like, and I know this is a bit of a tangent, but I don't fucking care. Um, on the Central C on the radar, freestyle, bro. Like, bruh, this nigga goes dummy. Like, he goes dumb. Him and Central C both. I hope he has Central C on that album. I really do because I feel like that should just be a vibe, be on some fuckboy
I
shit. Because
don't,
Central C
bro.
be on some,
I don't.
bro. Dude, Central C throws that. He's the fuck
I
boy we
fuck with
need,
Central
bro.
C, but if Drake's got some UK sounding song up here, then I already know he's on some fuck shit, and he's not on the type of time that I want him to be on. Because if he's over
True.
here doing accents and shit, then he's not on the type of time that I want him to
Nah,
be on.
nah, he been on that accent shit for a minute. He been doing that. He brought in that Jamaican accent, what, like passion fruit type shit on More Life. Brought in that shit. I was like, bro, who the fuck does this guy think he is?
I want
Remember,
Drake
you are.
for once to sound like the nigga that he is supposedly 50% of. So I want him to do that.
Yeah, bro, he was literally on the. I mean, and for people that haven't listened to it, it's really fire. But shout out Central C, shout out on the radar. Just general as a YouTube and as a sound, bro. He said he on the radar, 2023. It's your six God, my boy 2C, like bro, and he's got an accent on this shit. I'm like, what is he trying to do? And he said, and madness and badness. Like, come
Combination.
on, combination. Like, dude, you're not like you are from Canada, bro.
He be
You
killing
guys
them
talk with
accents though.
nah. Remember he was an actor.
Yeah, he's
He
an
was an
actor.
actor. Like,
So I
um,
still think I saw someone tweet, and I think this is like I've never thought about it this way, but it is crazy. So Drake started off an actor, and they tweeted, "What if this whole time Drake has been putting on the greatest acting performance that we've ever seen, acting like the best rapper in the world, and he's just acting." And like, and it feels that way sometimes. Like when you really see Drake, like he don't like seem like his songs or nothing like that. Like, what if this nigga just really hop in the booth and just start acting? And like
he's just
Look,
like he's like this crazy nerdy dude, just like mad, like completely different. Gets in the booth, yeah, duh. And he just starts going. I mean, I could see it, and that actually speaks to the point about him in the past, as people still talk about him having ghostwriters. Because like think about it, like you as an actor don't write the scripts.
yeah.
The writers write the scripts. And then you read off and put whatever you need to put into act it to give that emotion to those words. So, I mean, that would be actually the most insane thing ever. honestly, that'd probably be one of not even a scandal, it'd just be like one of the craziest things ever happened.
Yeah, the
Like,
most
dude, this guy was running his
legendary form of method
yeah.
acting we've ever seen.
Hey, bro, Will Smith said, "Don't do the method acting, bro. You real life becoming that shit." Like, well, next thing you know, I mean, he did say he was starting to catch feelings for women, but Jada was cheating on him. But
I need a method act being a billionaire for I real life become that shit. Like, goddamn.
yeah, yeah, I needed to be doing that. I did want to hit on something really quick as a sports topic, but shout out Coco Golf. Um, U.S. Open, youngest player to win the U.S. Open, American woman, I believe, or actually youngest player to win the U.S. Open since Serena Williams, and she's, of course, of the color, of the culture. Had to shout her out. I think that's super fucking awesome. I know. Also, speaking of friend Kels, I know Kels was up there. I don't know if she saw the final, but I know she got an opportunity to see her play live, which I think is really cool. And for the people out there that aren't in the tennis, dude, women's tennis is better than men's tennis, and I would only watch Coco Golf just like I only watch the Williams sisters. So it's just what it is. That's my recommendation to you. That's just short point I wanted to put out there. But yeah, Drake, really take on your black side, brother. I don't want to be hearing the white boy shit. No offense to white guys, but I don't want to hear it. I don't want
Yeah,
to hear it.
same.
I don't want
And
to hear
all the
little
offense. I'll take
all of you.
I'll take his offense that he didn't want to use, and I'll use it on mine and say all the offense. I agree with Sterling. We want to hear the nigga in Drake. So yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. But that's gonna be it for us tonight. I mean, honestly, we went on for a tangent on NFL. Like I said, that's gonna be the norm, bro. Especially, I'm telling y'all better be hoping the Cowboys lose. Y'all better be hoping they lose. Y'all better be rooting against them.
if we winning,
Uh,
we gonna be talking about it. And y'all better be hoping there's some big ass news, because if there ain't no big ass news, it's gonna be hard to trump me coming in here bragging and boasting about the best team in the NFL. But that is all we had. We appreciate you joining with us. You could have been anywhere, but you with your boys here after dark, and we appreciate that. So, for all the fellas out there listening, listen, man, they only want a 1% nigga. I know we've been gone for a week, but you couldn't have forgotten that quickly. So, quit your bitching and get your bread up. And for the ladies out there listening, listen, he don't want you, sweetie. So, you need to move on. But it is okay, because you're still beautiful and powerful and will always love you. It's the After Dark podcast. Until next time.